The gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Hern, is recognized on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm glad to see, I've been watching this. I wasn't around in 2017 when the Tax Cut and Jobs Act was done, but I'm glad to see my Democrat colleagues. They recognize when you increase taxes, remove deductions, and add restrictions, people leave. They leave those states. They leave the high tax burden states like New York and California, and they go to places like Oklahoma, Nebraska, and South Carolina, where the tax burden is lighter. People do what it takes to keep money in their pockets, whether they're moving their families to the Midwest or moving their families overseas. And my colleagues, I appreciate their passion, and they know that people leave. That's what this is all about. And they know it personally because in this latest census, they've lost a member of Congress from California and New York because the people are leaving. And right now, Oklahoma's top import is coming from California. They're bringing their families here. They're bringing their businesses here. And they've become incredible neighbors and friends and active members of our community because they see benefits of a free state. So I just want to say thank you for that. Our colleague, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, has repeatedly spoken out against repealing the SALT cap, saying that it would be a giveaway to the rich. There are very few things we agree on, but she is absolutely correct on this. Bernie Sanders has felt the same way and has been highly critical of the efforts to repeal the SALT cap, arguing that it, quote, sends a terrible, terrible message. You can't be on the side of the wealthy and the powerful if you're going to really fight for working families, end quote. The speaker knows that their support for this bill is necessary. And what we all know, what we've been saying since we started this process, that she's been working to cut a deal. So the rhetorical question, I guess, is, so why are we discussing this today? Repealing SALT would, without a doubt, result in a massive tax break for the rich. Let me say that again. This would be a massive tax break on the rich, and the wealthiest Americans will only be the ones to see those benefits. So while Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is sipping champagne with celebrities and billionaires last night, she was wearing a dress that said tax the rich. And the irony of that was not lost on many Americans. It's been all over the news today. You see why the Democrats, my colleagues across the aisle, pretend to be the party of the working class. They spend their free time with wealthy elites. So it's no wonder they're working so hard to give their celebrity friends in New York and Hollywood a tax cut. The Democrats' massive tax increases on small businesses and middle-class families because they wholeheartedly believe they don't pay their fair share, which is absolutely false. Today, we're debating these tax increases on small businesses and the middle class, yet my colleagues in this room want to give a tax break to the rich. Electric vehicle tax credits up to $800,000 in annual income, child tax care credits we talked about earlier in the committee hearings, to people making upwards of $500,000 a year. I've never seen anything more hypocritical in my life as what we're talking about here. Whether or not this is a tax cut for the wealthy is not up for debate. The evidence is clear. Restoring the full SALT deduction would cost $88.7 billion in lost revenue for 2021 alone. This initiative is especially egregious because in order to pay for this package, Democrats raised the corporate and individual tax rates, policies which would disproportionately hurt workers, consumers, retirees, and small businesses. Increasing taxes on these groups in order to pay for a tax cut for the wealthy is both hypocritical and an awful policy. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to reserve the balance of my time. I yield back.